Welcome to Chapter 3 of Ch03, Building Resiliency to Trauma. This week's focus will be on how to utilize the 6 wellness skills that are associated with the TRM and CRM models. I will provide an overview of the chapter, but please remember to read the chapter thoroughly. With that said, let's get started. Our learning objectives for this chapter are: define the 6 wellness skills of CRM and understand how they relate to TRM. Explain the neurobiological rationale behind each skill using accessible language. Demonstrate a brief, trauma-informed way to teach and facilitate each skill. Adapt skills for diverse cultural contexts, ages, and settings, schools, clinics, community. Plan simple assessments and practice routines to support generalization. So, let's roll up our sleeves and really get into the heart of the 6 wellness skills. These skills aren't just theory, they're practical tools you can use with your clients, communities, and even for your own self-care. Remember, you should think of them as a body-based first aid kit for the nervous system. As you recall, CRM provides skills for anyone, including the community, schools, and workplaces. With TRM, skills are more toward clinicians. They are more structured, trauma processing focused. The 2 models have a shared goal: helping people get back into the resilient zone, that balanced state where you can think, feel, and act clearly. The first skill is tracking. One way to see this process is by understanding that tracking is simply noticing what's happening in your body right now. Is your chest tight? Is your belly soft? Are your hands warm or cold? We're learning to read the dashboard of the nervous system. Of course, this relates to mindfulness. Initially, the emphasis is more internal than external. How to use with your client. You will, with a soothing voice, say the following. Take 30 seconds and notice 3 sensations: pleasant, neutral, or even just curious. Where do you feel them? Label them simply: warm, cool, tight, relax. You want to normalize the skill for the client, allowing them to notice things comfortably and that nothing awkward or weird stuff is okay. Additionally, we should always permit our clients to stop. This is not a forced activity, and if it feels forced, then our clients will ultimately shut down. The second skill is resourcing. Resourcing is bringing to mind something or someone that gives you a sense of strength or comfort. Could be your grandmother's kitchen, your faith, your dog, even your favorite playlist. With this skill, we have the client follow several prompts to facilitate the mindfulness components of the skill process. You would tell your client gently, close your eyes if you'd like, and bring to mind a personal resource. As you do, notice, does your breath shift? Do your shoulders settle? Where in your body do you feel that resource? As you can see, we keep it sensory, having the client focus on body changes, not just their thoughts. As you build the skill with the client, you will incorporate culturally meaningful resources such as music, their rituals and worldviews, and connections with their ancestors. Up next, we have skill number 3, grounding. With grounding, our clients use their bodies and senses to remind themselves, I'm here, I'm safe, I'm supported. Think of it as plugging your nervous system back into the wall socket. We achieve this by having our client do the following. Press your feet into the floor. Notice the support of your chair. Or place your hands on a table. What do you feel? Hard, soft, warm, cool? As you go through the technique, remember to offer your client the chance to stand, take a walk, or do some stretching as alternatives. Additionally, some cultures have specific postures. Therefore, we also take this into account. Looking at the fourth skill, which is help now. Think of this skill as pulling your client back to the present. You may say, sometimes we need something fast. Help now is a menu of quick tricks to bring us back from the edge. Clients may become stagnated due to the trauma and begin to ruminate or have flashbacks. Helping them learn how to use help now helps the client return to the here and now psychologically, but also help them understand what they are feeling within themselves. Some ways to achieve this. Have the client count backwards by sevens. Name 5 blue objects in the room. Hold something cold or sip water. Here's another example. Pick one now. Try it for 20 seconds. Then notice, do you feel any shift in your body? This skill is particularly useful in classrooms, emergency settings, or when someone feels stuck. You want to empower your client, so let the participants choose, don't assign. We communicate more than just with our voice. Body language is a fundamental skill and is part of the fifth skill, gesturing. Have you ever found yourself doing things on autopilot? Sometimes the body already knows what it needs. Gesturing is allowing natural movements like stretching, hand over heart, or even a sigh to help reset. We prompt our clients to trust their bodies by discussing something like this. Notice if your body wants to move in a small way, maybe a stretch, a shoulder roll, a hand placement. Try it, then track what shifts. Again, we want our clients to understand the inner workings. With practice, they will recognize those differences without the need for prompts. You need to respect cultural or personal comfort with touch and movement. Even subtle gestures, sitting taller, softening hands, count. Now, last but not least, skill number 6, shift and stay. This skill is about lingering with the good. If you notice a little more ease, even 5%, stay there for a few breaths. You're strengthening the neural pathway to calm. You're helping the body return to homeostasis. We achieve this by shifting and then staying by having our client do the following. Scan your body. If there's anywhere that feels a little more settled, linger there for 10 to 20 seconds. Compare how you felt before and after. You want to encourage your client to feel the differences where parts of the body may be experiencing tension or feeling relaxed. As you demonstrate this technique to your clients, avoid chasing comfort. Small is enough. This works beautifully after other skills like from tracking to shift and stay. Now let's see how the TRM extensions of the 6 wellness skills fits into the schema. With titration, it's like sipping hot tea. You don't gulp it down all at once. When you are in trauma work, titration means approaching distress in tiny, tolerable bits. If one becomes overwhelmed and anxiety starts to rise, you back off right away, just like pulling your hand back from a hot stove. Our goal is to have our client nibble at the hard stuff instead of choking on it. Now with pendulation, we are seeking balance. It's like gently rocking between two places. We'll have our clients shift their attention back and forth between discomfort, something stressful, and comfort, something grounding or reassuring. This gentle movement builds the nervous system's capacity for choice and flexibility. showing it doesn't have to stay stuck in either extreme. We help our clients learn to incorporate survival responses. Imagine hitting the brakes while driving and stopping halfway. You'd feel stuck and tense. Trauma can leave the body in that same unfinished state. This skill supports the body's natural fight, flight, or freeze response to complete the process safely. For example, the body may want to push, shake, or take a deep breath to complete what was interrupted. We teach our clients how to read the cues. As always, this is done with consent, within scope, and safely guided, not something you would force. There are clinical considerations. As I said before, TRM is utilized by the clinician. These advanced TRM pieces require clinical judgment. You need to assess the trauma dose and know how much distress is safe to touch in a session. Be able to view the window of tolerance, being able to have your client stay inside the resilience zone, not too high, overwhelmed, or too low, shut down. Then you want to consider pacing, going slow and steady, not rushing. You have containment and closure rituals which help your clients leave the session grounded, not raw. When teaching or practicing the wellness skills, how you do it matters just as much as the skills themselves. Use the client's words. If a client says they feel heat, spirit, or energy in their body, use those exact words back with them. Avoid replacing their language with clinical jargon or pathologizing expressions that may be perfectly normal in their cultural context. For example, instead of correcting, "I feel my ancestors near me," you might say, "When you notice that presence, what sensations do you feel in your body?" Offer posture and movement choices. Not everyone is comfortable with the same positions. Consider modesty norms like crossing legs or lying down. Neurodiversity. Some people regulate better by moving or stimming. And sensory profiles, e.g., touch sensitivity. An example of this would be, if someone doesn't like closing their eyes during grounding, invite them to look softly at the floor instead. Integrate spiritually meaningful resources. If a client brings in prayer, ritual, music, or ancestral connection as a resource, welcome it. But don't assume everyone wants to be spiritually integrated. Always let the client lead. You want to translate skills into daily life. Make the wellness skills practical. Tie them into everyday routines in family, work, community, or school settings. See it as, you can use tracking when waiting in line at the grocery store, or a teacher might start class with a 30-second grounding check-in. Show them how the skills cross over into everyday life situations. It's important to present the skills in a way that your client will appreciate them and put them into practice. This is a suggested teaching protocol for clinicians to use. You want to orient, gain consent, provide a brief rationale for the biology, not blame. You'll start with tracking, then resourcing, moving to grounding, then gesturing. Remember to use help now for spikes, then close with shift and stay to consolidate everything. It's essential to have your client continue practicing for at least 2 minutes. Finally, you want to assess the client's high-low resilient zone cues. I will stop here. Please read the chapter in its entirety. Please attempt to do your attendance. I removed the QR code option, so hopefully you will be able to take. If you have any technical issues, then please send an email to me to mark you present. This week's reflection paper. You will choose one topic from the chapter and then discuss it in a 2 to 3 page paper. Remember to use APA formatting. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful weekend.